Hi everyone, I'm Nancy Fredericks with Nancy Fredericks International. I'm so glad that you joined me in this video in regards to women executives in corporate America. You know, the times are really great for us, whether you believe it or not. Look around. For the first time in history, we have so many role models in Hewlett-Packard and General Motors and Yahoo and PepsiCo that are showing us what it looks like to be a leader and a feminine leader. We also are looking at a population where 50% of women hold management positions today. And we're also looking in colleges where women are graduating by larger numbers than men with higher level degrees. So today looks pretty good for women. How does it look for you? How's your career? Are you driving forward with the momentum you've been looking for in your career? If you're like many of the women executives that I do strategic coaching with, the answer is no. I don't understand it. I think I'm doing everything right. And yet, time after time, the big promotion goes to someone else, and usually a man. And the big cross-company assignments that would get me visibility in my organization is going to someone else, and usually a man. Well, I want you not to be discouraged, although you're right. Things aren't going as well as they could be for many, many mid-level management women today. And yet, I want you to understand that there are subtle secrets, tips, that for some reason we women never hear about, and yet they make a difference. And how do I know this? Well, I'm considered a pioneer in the field of gender diversity for male-women leadership. And I've worked with women for years, supporting them in receiving recognition and high-level promotions. I've done it through my strategic coaching, and honestly, 10, 11, 12 years ago, I wrote a book called Dancing on the Glass Ceiling, which was specifically written for women in corporate America to support them in gaining visibility. So I'm considered a pioneer in the field of women and leadership. So I've worked with thousands of women through the years. And I'm here to tell you there are some really subtle, simple tips that you can take in and make a difference in your career. But let me stop tantalizing. Oh, let me tantalize you just one more second. You know, honestly, if you were to have said to me 10, 12 years ago when I wrote the book, would I still be, or would we as a culture still be looking at women moving to high-level positions in their organizations, being influencers in their organizations, still be an issue today? And I would have been said, heck no, you've got to be nuts. There's no way that that would still be an issue. Shows you how wrong a body can be, because it's still an issue today. But let me just dive into some of the simple things that you could do that will make a difference. And I find the most effective way to share tips is by sharing stories. So let me tell you, I'm going back probably about a year ago, when I'm walking into the president of a company's office that I've done work with for probably 17 years. And I'm there to talk to him about a new project that I'm interested in, and I want to get his take on it. But he's not actually interested in starting the conversation off with what I'm bringing to the table. He literally meets me at the door, and he reaches out his hand and he said, I want to thank you, Nancy, as he moves me into the office. He said, for the last year and a half, I've had a woman who's on the team, at low level. She's a senior level management, so she's mid-level, and I've been wanting to promote her to vice president, and I'm getting no traction because my guys, and they were all guys in the team of senior management, really were deeply resistant to bringing her in. And he knew that if he brought her in that kind of environment, it was setting her up to fail, and he didn't want to do that because he felt that this woman was really a spectacular executive with a long career in front of her that would be making a difference for the company. And he said to me, "My gosh, I can't believe in a couple of months you've shifted her thinking process completely around, where you need to know that she received a nomination and an acceptance by the senior management team for vice president, which was just announced a couple of months ago." And I have to tell you, I was grinning ear from ear because yes, I knew she'd been promoted because she called me quite excitedly. And so part of the difference I want to make in today's business marketplace is for women executives achieving their dreams. But I also want it to be successful for the corporations and the organizations that are moving women up. I want it to be a win for everybody. So I'm grinning because clearly this is a win for everyone. Now, let me just step back a little bit to the coaching that I did with this woman and some of the secrets that I shared with her that made a difference. And they're going to sound so simple to you, and you're going to be saying, wait a minute, that couldn't have made a difference. And I want you to know that yes, it did make a difference. Because it's the subtle things that we women are missing that have us making the largest leaps in our career. So what did I say to her? I listened to her, and I have to tell you, this woman was in deep resentment because she believed she was due a position of vice president. And she had done everything in her power to make that happen. And she believed by now that it was simply because she was a woman that she wasn't reaching that level. And now I knew for sure, because of the conversation that I had with the president, that that's not true. So the sharing that I did with her was based upon what I know makes a difference, and it actually did. So I said to her, "Hey, you're not going to believe this, but that resentment that you have in your head is actually probably coming out in your body language, because women have 3% more body language than men. So if you think you're simply thinking something, I'm here to tell you you're not. You're screaming what you're thinking through your body language in most cases. So you have to backtrack and retrain your brain to be thinking as a team member." One of the other resentments that she had was that she had a number of projects that came back from her boss with comments like, "This isn't going to work, this isn't going to enroll the company that we're pitching to, this isn't any good." And what happened is she took this message internally and personalized it and believed that her boss is saying, "You're no good." And honestly, that isn't what most male bosses are saying when they say "no good." They're not accustomed to being soft-spoken and gentle when they're flipping a project across your desk. What they're saying is what they're saying. Project isn't going to work. We need to work on this. We need to make this better. And she didn't hear it that way, so she built up more resentment about him. So what I did is I worked with her brain, and I worked with her heart, and I worked with her body to shift how she was responding, not verbally necessarily, but physically through her body language. And then I started her thinking about what really counts in corporate America for promotion into the senior level. And I know that you're going to be laughing at this and you're going to be saying, "No, Nancy, this can't be true." But honestly, this is one of the biggest factors for women not reaching the senior levels. Senior level people are looking for other executives who can play on the team. And when you're flipping body language, you don't look like you're playing on the team. When you're overly sensitive and you personalize issue, it doesn't look like you can be a team player. And when this woman, these are subtle things. She was doing so much right. When women get this message and start transforming that body language into positive, I'm on your team, I'm not looking at you as the bad guy, I want to make things work, I want our bottom line to be good, all of a sudden people perk up and take notice and want you to join. So literally, within a couple of months of coaching with me, this woman was named vice president. Pretty spectacular. I could share any number of stories with you about some of these same tactics being used on many, 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 many women successfully. Let me talk about another person. Now let me see what story would be the best to resonate with you, because I have so many, and they're all making a difference. Oh, one of the best and easiest things you can do is simply to ask for what you want. Yes, ask for what you want. Let me share. I got a call from an HR person who was second in command in the HR department, and she said to me, I've grown my position as large as it can be, and I knew she had because we'd coached together. And I don't see any upswing for me here. I'm going to have to leave the company because my boss isn't going to be retiring anytime in the near future. And I'm kind of bored with what I'm doing. And I said to her, whoa, before you leave, let's assess what actually brings you joy on the position you're doing. What skill set is giving you the best, effortless fun. And I want you to come back and talk about that. Because you see, the truth is that if you're currently working in a company and you've built up a good reputation for yourself, there's a very, very good possibility that you could end up doing something entirely different within the company and being successful at it. So she came back and she said, you know, I look at everything I do, and at the bottom line, it's all about communication. And I really want to dig in deeper into communication. So I said to her, look around the company and see if you see any gaps. Are there gaps where you believe you could fill that gap and make a difference to the bottom line of the organization and make a difference to your career? She called me about a month later and she said, you know, there is something. I have boom, boom, boom ideas, and I won't go into it because it would bore you to death. And I went, wow, those are pretty significant and those are pretty good. Because she had gaps and ideas to solve. So I said to her, I want you to go to the president of the company and I want you to pitch this as a new position within the organization. I want you to share these ideas with her. With him, it was him. So she did. I got a call and she was sorely disappointed because the answer was no. No position for you. However, the good news is the president did take a number of her suggestions and started utilizing in the organization. Well, I remember this story vividly because I was in New York doing a speech. I think it was for Johnson & Johnson at the time. Anyway, I was doing a speech and I got a voicemail message from her and it said, call me right away. So I did. And she says, guess what? And I said, what? She said, I just was offered a communication position within my company. It's exactly what I want, doing exactly what I want. Now, I wasn't surprised because you see, honing in on a message that both resonates with your skill set and energizes you and works within the area of your strength and also meets bottom line needs for the company, miracles happen. This is the kind of phone call I get all the time from people that I've coached. Guess what happened to me? And it works on the big things like creating a brand new position within an organization and on little things. I remember getting a call from a young lady who was just starting out in the marketplace and she said, guess what? I've been working in a cubicle which is really loud and noisy, and I went into my boss and I said, hey, I'd like to be moved into this cubicle that's larger and has less distractions, because let me tell you what I can do for the company. And she got it. Or what about the woman who called me and said, you know, one of the issues that I've been having is I'd really like to work from home 1 day or 2 days a week, and my company really isn't in favor of it. I said, ask, position it where it's going to meet the needs of the company and meet your needs. And I love this one so much because I remember what the boss said, and it just moves me so much. Her boss said to her, thank you for telling me what you want. You're one of my high potential women, and I couldn't figure out what to do that would reward you and let you know that you're a powerful team member. Thanks for letting me know what I can do for you. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's asking for what you want and positioning it with the bottom line. Well, you know, I don't have enough time to go through all the stories. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people where small, subtle, little ideas have shifted their career enormously because unfortunately they were focused on the wrong thing at the wrong time, and it didn't make a difference in their career. You know, because I made such a difference in so many women's career, a number of years ago I started doing a program called Leadership for Women Only. It's a professional program for women. And I'd love for you to look at about it and see if it meets any of your needs today. You know, I remember a woman, because at the end of every leadership program I say, share with me, were your expectations met? Is this going to make a difference in your career? And I'm proud to say that the answer is yes. But one woman did better than just saying yes. She stood up, like stood up. Do you get it? Like stood up. And she looked at every other woman in the room, and then she focused directly on me, and she said, I resented being sent to this program. I am a woman competing against men. I've done everything in my power to show myself as equal, if not better, than the men in my organization. And I didn't want to be separated out into a program exclusively for women. But I'm here to tell you, this is the best leadership program I've ever taken. This is the best information I've ever received. This is going to make a difference in my career. Now, I can't tell you how moved I was, but I also have to share with you that I absolutely knew she resented coming into the program. When introducing herself, she was like this. The body language of women gives us up every time. And I want you to know that this woman went on to get high accolades, high promotions in her organization, and is now one of the senior members of her company. So I'm proud to say that doing a program with women only did make a difference in her career, and it can make a difference in your career. So if you're a woman who hasn't been able to figure out how to move ahead, please check out the link below. If you're an executive who has a woman who you know is high potential, and yet she isn't making it in the organization as fast and as effortlessly as you hope, please check out the link below and sign her up on the program, because I know this program makes a difference. And I know it because I've heard from thousands and thousands of women that that's an exaggeration, thousands of women, that it's made a difference. And I want you to know that I also know that it makes a difference because women recommend other women going to this program. So the bulk of the women in this program are there because other women said, it made a difference, you have to take this program. I'd love to talk to you individually. If you have more questions about the program, feel free to call me at 970-384-2254. And I hope that I get to meet you in person as you join me in making a difference to both your company and your career by taking the next Leadership for Women Only program. Thanks so much, and much success to you always.